In the bustling heart of Dubai's glittering skyline, where opulent skyscrapers pierced the heavens and luxury cars glided like shadows on sun-baked streets, lay the opulent Al Miraj Hotel. It was a playground for the world's elite, billionaires, celebrities, and power brokers who sipped champagne under crystal chandeliers while the desert winds whispered secrets outside. Amid this extravagance worked Layla Al Hassan, a young Palestinian woman in her mid-20s, whose quiet grace hid a storm of resilience forged in the fires of displacement and loss. Layla had fled the rubble of Gaza 5 years earlier, carrying nothing but a faded photograph of her family and a degree in hospitality management earned through sheer determination. Her parents had perished in a conflict that turned homes into craters, leaving her to rebuild her life in the UAE. She started as a cleaner at the hotel, her hands raw from scrubbing marble floors, but her sharp mind and unwavering politeness quickly propelled her to a server in the exclusive rooftop restaurant, the Oasis. There, she navigated the egos of the wealthy with a smile that masked her inner turmoil, dreaming of one day opening her own cafe where stories of her heritage could be shared over steaming cups of Arabic coffee. It was a sweltering Friday evening when director Victor Kane strode into the Oasis like he owned the place, which, in a way, he did. Kane was a Hollywood heavyweight, in town scouting locations for his next blockbuster, a lavish tale of Arabian Nights reimagined with CGI camels and star-studded casts. At 52, with salt and pepper hair and a perpetual smirk, he exuded the kind of arrogance that came from decades of unchecked privilege. Flanked by his entourage, a sycophantic assistant, a glamorous publicist, and 2 bodyguards, he demanded the best table overlooking the Burj Khalifa. Layla approached their table with her usual poise, her hijab neatly pinned and her uniform impeccable. She placed menus before them, her voice soft yet confident. "Good evening, gentlemen and madam. Welcome to the Oasis. May I start you with some refreshments? Perhaps our signature mint lemonade or a selection of mezz." Kane leaned back, eyeing her up and down with a predatory gleam. His eyes lingered on her name tag, then on her face, as if appraising a prop for his film. "Arab style, huh, that's what I like. Tell you what, sweetheart," he said, his American accent dripping with mockery, "I'll give you $1 million if you serve me Arab style." He burst into laughter, slapping the table as his entourage chuckled awkwardly. The Arab style quip was laced with innuendo, a crude reference to stereotypes he'd peddled in his movies, veiled women as exotic temptresses, submissive and eager to please. The restaurant fell into a hushed murmur. Other patrons glanced over, some smirking, others averting their eyes. Layla's cheeks burned, not from embarrassment, but from a deep-seated rage that bubbled like lava beneath her calm exterior. She had heard such jabs before, tourists reducing her culture to belly dances and harems, ignoring the poetry, the history, the unyielding spirit of her people. But this was a direct assault on her dignity, broadcasted in front of strangers. For a split second, time froze. Layla could have walked away, reported him to management, or forced a polite laugh to diffuse the tension. After all, her job depended on tolerating such fools. But something inside her snapped, a thread of patience woven from years of silence. She straightened her posture, her dark eyes locking onto Kane's with an intensity that made him shift uncomfortably. "Arab style," she repeated, her voice steady and laced with quiet power. "Very well, Mr. Kane. But understand this. Arab style is not what you think. It's not a costume or a fantasy from your films. It's honor, resilience, and hospitality that runs deeper than your wallet. If you want to experience it, I'll serve you, not for your $1 million, but to teach you a lesson you'll never forget." The table went silent. Kane's smirk faltered, replaced by a flicker of confusion. "Excuse me," he blustered, but Layla was already in motion. She signaled to the kitchen staff, her colleagues, fellow Arabs from Syria, Egypt, and Lebanon, who exchanged knowing nods. They had all endured similar indignities, and tonight, they would stand with her. What followed was no ordinary service, it was a symphony of cultural reclamation. Layla began by clearing the table of the generic Western cutlery, replacing it with traditional brass trays and ornate silverware. "In Arab style," she explained, her voice projecting just enough for nearby tables to hear, "we start with basmala, a blessing. Bismillahir-Rahman-ir-Rahim. In the name of God, the most gracious, the most merciful." She poured water from a dala, the traditional Arabic coffee pot, into tiny finjan cups, the aroma of cardamom and saffron wafting through the air. "This is kahawa, not your espresso. It's bitter, like the trials we've faced, but sweetened by community." As she served, She wove in stories, real ones, not the caricatures Cain peddled. My grandmother brewed this in our home in Gaza, even as bombs fell. It reminded us that hospitality is our armor, not our weakness. Cain's entourage watched, transfixed. The publicist whispered something, but he waved her off, intrigued despite himself. Next came the meze. Hummus garnished with olive oil from Palestinian groves, tabbouleh bursting with fresh parsley, and baba ganoush smoky from charred eggplants. Layla described each dish with passion. This hummus, it's from chickpeas grown in soil that's seen empires rise and fall. Arabs have fed the world for centuries, mathematics, medicine, astronomy, all while offering bread to strangers. But Layla wasn't done. As the main course arrived, mansaf, a Jordanian lamb dish with yogurt sauce and rice, she delved deeper. You mock Arab style, because your lens is narrow, Mr. Cain. In my culture, women like me aren't props, we're warriors. My mother led our family through checkpoints, teaching us poetry by Rumi and Darwish under curfew. We serve with pride, not subservience. Cain tried to interject, his face reddening. Listen, I was just joking. Joking. Layla's eyes flashed. Your jokes fuel wars and walls. They erase us. But tonight, you'll taste truth. She placed a plate before him, then stepped back. Eat, and reflect. That's Arab style. Generous, even to those who insult us. The restaurant had transformed. Patrons applauded softly, phones discreetly recording the exchange. Cain's bodyguards shifted uneasily, but he raised a hand to stop them. For the first time in years, the director felt exposed, his bravado crumbling under the weight of genuine humanity. He took a bite of the mansaf, the flavors exploding on his tongue, tender, complex, unforgettable. As the meal progressed, Layla shared more tales of ancient Arab scholars who mapped the stars, poets who captured the soul's ache, and everyday heroes in refugee camps who built schools from tents. Her words weren't accusatory, they were illuminating, pulling back the veil on a world Cain had commodified. By dessert, kunafa dripping with syrup and pistachios, tears glistened in his eyes. I didn't know, he muttered, pushing aside his untouched wine glass. I've made films about your world, but I never really saw it. Layla nodded, her anger softening into empathy. Seeing requires listening, Mr. Cain. And change starts with one meal. That night, as Cain left, he slipped her his card, not with $1 million promise, but a genuine apology. Make your cafe. I'll fund it. No strings. Just teach me more. But the real change rippled far beyond. The video of Layla's response went viral, shared across social media with hashtags like #ArabStyleDignity and #HerResponseChangedEverything. It sparked conversations in boardrooms and living rooms, challenging stereotypes and inspiring young Arab women to reclaim their narratives. Layla didn't take Cain's money at first. Instead, she used the spotlight to launch her cafe, Kahawa Stories, in a modest Dubai neighborhood. It became a haven where refugees shared their journeys over traditional brews, and tourists learned the true essence of Arab hospitality. Cain visited often, not as a director, but as a student, collaborating on a documentary that humanized the Middle East. Years later, on the cafe's 5th anniversary, Layla stood before a crowd, her voice steady as ever. One mock changed everything, she said. Not because of anger, but because of truth spoken with grace. That's the power of Arab style, unbreakable, unending. And in that moment, the world listened.